We are in the Pacific Northwest as we get set for football at Lumen Field here in the Soto District of Seattle. Today on to Week 15 in the NFL, and we've got a good matchup in store, as it'll be the Chicago Bears. Two teams more than ready to get this one started. And off we go from Seattle. And out a little across the 25 to the 27. So here are the Bears now for their opening drive. And they'll be led out by their third-year quarterback.
Well, his ratio was good last week. Most quarterbacks are really excited about a 3-to-1 ratio, but it's flipped in the wrong direction. He threw 3 interceptions, not touchdowns.
And right away, he lost the football. But the Bears look to get this one back, and indeed they did. So they'll keep possession. Points 1, 2, and 3 in their defensive game plan was to get to the quarterback and knock the ball free. They did it there. Luckily, offense hangs on to it.
Yeah, that's got to stop.
Under pressure, and they got to him again. I don't think this is the script they had in mind for their opening drive. This is 3rd and long. Now a first carry here for the running back. And he'll lose yardage on this one back to the 13. Jake Bailey on now to punt here on 4th down. He'll take it a few steps in front of the 50. A pretty good punt, but a nice 13-yard return. And the Seahawks are in great field position to start this drive. They take over on the short side of the field. So now you've got their offense coming out for the first time with great initial field position. And a glance here at the man calling the plays under center, their 6'4" quarterback.
And that's really good field position they were given. Now, nothing's a gimme. We know that. But I know his goal, have the field goal kicker just stay on the bench. They want to put it in the end zone and get 6 out of this one. If they don't, I think it'll feel like a disappointment.
On the throw led him too much that time. It's incomplete.
Brings up 3rd down and 10.
Out of the gun now on 3rd down. Complete. Jefferson the target. And he is out of bounds inside the 30.
Gain of 10 yards. That's good for the Seahawks.
On 1st down, he'll drop to throw. Touchdown! Justin Jefferson. His 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Seahawks will jump on top with the game's first score here this afternoon. Extra point run down the middle. And it's now a 7-0 game.
Bears nothing.
So that drive, 4 plays. And it was all capped off by Justin Jefferson's touchdown reception. The kick unit for the Seahawks out there on the field, and we are ready to rock. Solid stiff arm. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24. Chicago works their way back onto the field here for their 2nd drive of the game. So, Charles, the season winding down, the playoffs obviously not in their future. As they look ahead to the offseason, what spots do they maybe need to fill?
Well, I think that they like the guy who's calling the plays and throwing the ball. I think that he's a pretty good player. Needs some help, I think, on the perimeter there. Help him out with receivers, because I think if he gets an upgrade there, his play gets that much better, too.
Here's a 2nd and 7. Now he's going to step up and run. 8 yards that time, able to take off, and the result is a 1st down.
First down. An 8-yard pickup. 1st down, Bears.
They'll give it up the middle to Miller. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up. You talk about this Seahawk defense. Now, they've been dreadful against the run. No getting around at number 32, dead last in the NFL.
One thing players always tell us is that they never really pay attention to numbers. I don't believe them for a second. They know where they rank, okay? They're not quite at the top, but they're too far from the bottom. But let's face it, they want to move up. In order to do that, they've got to look at each other and make sure everyone's taking care of their assignments in order to play the run better.
It'll be a loss of a couple on the play, so now third down coming up. They'll come to the line here needing 9 yards to pick up the first. On third down, he'll drop to throw. And hit behind the line. He lost the football. It's loose. And the Seahawks have picked it up. And his guys will take over at the 30-yard line. The defense, they were swarming that time and ultimately got to him before he could get rid of the football and knocked it free.
And don't you feel just a little bit of sympathy for him back there, though? So much going on, so much swirling around. He's trying to find someone downfield. He's trying to move around to find an open target. Sometimes you forget the number one thing, take care of the football.
The Seahawks offense and their quarterback coming out for their second drive. And he's been very impactful when using his legs this year, both when the pocket breaks down and by design. You notice his name sits near the top when looking at the league leaders in rushing yards by quarterback. And he's going to bring this one down to right about the 20-yard line. These are his numbers from last week's contest. 15 carries, 95 yards.
And as we discovered in talking with the coaching staff prior to the game, going up against a team that struggled against the run has only emboldened them to run the football more. I expect 40 to 50 carries in this game.
So the ball down to the 16 here for 1st and 10. Looking to throw. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's second down.
Jefferson, incomplete. Brings up 2nd and 10.
They'll look to throw here. Now they go screen. It's complete. And he'll be taken down at the 2-yard line.
And the Seahawks, first down. 1st and goal at the 2-yard line.
They'll try to run this one in. And he's across the chalk into the end zone. Touchdown, Seahawks. A great effort there. His 8th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Seahawks are off to a 13-0 first quarter lead. No going for 2. They'll kick the point after. Point after, right down the middle. And it's now 14-0. 5 plays there on that drive. And it's culminated by a 2-yard touchdown run. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. A little juke. And the tackle going to be made right there at the 25-yard line. The Chicago offense set to get started. They've shown precious little here offensively thus far as they try again with a first down now. They begin with a run by Miller. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of 4 there, bringing up 2nd down. Plays like we just saw there, that's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out, because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game, and that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage.
They lose 2 on that last play, so things get even tougher. 3rd and long coming up. It looked like the defense, they were ready for that one.
Really left him almost no room to work after catching the ball. He could throw every move in the book at him. They were there, and they tackled him for a loss.
Looking middle, and that's complete. And this will not get close to the first down marker as he's brought down at the 26. Out is Jake Bailey to send this one away. Fielded at the 33. A nice return that time. Gets 12 yards back. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. Now the ball now going back over to the Seattle Seahawks offense. And right now they're saying, hey, let's keep this going. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, can't ask for a better start than that, can you? I mean, this is the way you practice it. This is the way you rehearse it. But right now, the play calling, they locked it.
They're looking for Jefferson, but this is intercepted. And the return stops at the 39-yard line. CD, I know it's just his second year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one where he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, second year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. And they'll start with great field position, trying to get back into this one. It's 1st and 10 here. A first down carry now for Miller. To the 36-yard line, stop there. We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this first quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They stacked him up pretty well, but when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him, and some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on.
And he is out of bounds inside the 30. 3 tight ends in the ball game here on 1st and 10. Inside handoff now, Miller. And he's able to skip away from that first defender on his way to a pickup of 5.
A 6-yard pickup brings up 2nd and 4.
They'll run it again with Miller. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. A loss on that play, and now 3rd down gets tougher. 3rd and 6.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
Back to throw here. And he doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped at the 1. Last play they got stuffed at the line. Different story here, over 20 yards. 1st and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. He'll try to run this one in. And he will fight his way in. Not giving up there, and he's got a Bears touchdown. His 5th rushing touchdown on the year, number 9 overall. And the Bears have got it back to within a score.
Sometimes offenses can get too cute down near the goal line, but there's nothing fancy about this one. As Coach Lombardi would say, we get a seal here, and we get a seal here, and we run this play in the alley. And that's good work to hit the hole hard and finish in the end zone.
And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. The Seattle now ready to march onto the field. And for this offense, Charles, you got to think kind of crucial here to put something together on this drive, because remember last time out they threw the interception on the very first play.
And you can't afford to let this defense keep building any more momentum. They're playing awfully well, and they're awfully confident right now. To me, it's time to attack and take some of that momentum back. But make sure you're selective in doing so. Understand where you want to throw the football and make sure it's open before the ball leaves your hands.
Shilling through the fence. And this will be a Seahawks first down as he's able to get this up past the 40.
Well, they came into this game saying it was important that they set the tone and show that they can run the football. I believe that they've done that here in the first quarter.
And first down, they'll go to the ground attack. And he'll be tackled right on the midfield logo. Through one quarter, 14-7 our score. Second quarter now from Seattle, and it is the Seahawks with the football here. 2nd down and a yard as they've got it as we resume action. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. That's into the hands of the rookie from Florida. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle's made here at the Bears' 26.
1st and 10 at the 26-yard line.
And, partner, they're locked in man coverage out left, and they end up running a crossing route. Rounded it a little bit more than a slant. He's just going to angle himself towards the right side of the field, and that's very difficult for a defender to shadow him across all that ground.
On first down, they'll go to the ground attack. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Over the 25-yard line. A gain of a yard. Brings up 2nd and 9.
They'll set up a throw. And this throw incomplete. And the defender all over it that time, and it's going to lead to 3rd down.
Incomplete. It's now 3rd down and 9 yards to go.
He'll look to throw. It's a short one there, complete to the tight end. And he does not get to the first down marker as they stop him at the 19.
A gain of 6 yards. It's 4th down.
And his kick is good. And they will move up by 10 now, 17-7. So that one on target, and it adds to this first half lead.
And maybe we're too early to worry too much about 1-score lead, 2-score lead, etc. But this is where you kind of start banking those points that come in helpful later on.
The Bears offense out there set and ready to go. They find themselves down 17-7 as they start this drive 1st and 10. Looking to put a drive together. They'll start on the ground here on 1st down. And boy, this defense again really making things tough on him as they stop him for no gain. Now a 2nd and 10.
2nd and 10 at the 30-yard line.
They'll drop the throw. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And the Seahawks have picked it up. He already had the 1 fumble loss, so now 2 fumbles lost here in this first half.
Not setting the pace the way that you want it done. I mean, here in the first half, already twice the ball's come out and hit the turf. Got to find a way to take care of it. Otherwise, they have to start thinking about maybe someone different with that position.
A gain of 10 as they look to add on to this 10-point lead.
10 at the 26-yard line.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
Well, he tried to fit it in on the slant, and it's intercepted. It's Brian Branch with it. And the Bears are going to have it here just past the 25. You don't see this often. A quarterback of his caliber, 2 first-half interceptions.
It's absolutely surprising because it happens so rarely. You're searching for what reason, what's going on out there. It's not just maybe the defense is playing well. Is his horoscope off? His biorhythms? What is it?
You went horoscope on us, David.
Well, I was thinking maybe REM sleep was off. I'm trying to come up with something.
Anything, right? They'll start this drive out on the ground. And not a whole lot there. Maybe a yard to the 27.
Defenses always talk about earning the right to rush the passer on 3rd down. And you know what offenses want? Win 1st down so they can set things up for themselves better.
And that wasn't helpful there. Not a big impact on 1st down. And the timing a bit off that time as that one falls to the ground.
As defensive coordinators around the league tell me all the time, that throw is not for every quarterback because you've really got to drive the ball downfield. It's going to be a tight window for him to fit that one into. In this case, unsuccessfully.
And a good job defensively. They stop him short of the first at the 32. And here's Jake Bailey now. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. It's a return of 4 following a 42-yard punt. And they will take over 1st and 10. A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. And he's well on his way to a 100-yard game. He's already more than halfway there. We're only in the 2nd quarter.
And what I've always loved about running backs is they'll tell you, I had no idea how many yards I had.
Right.
Those guys have an innate sense of where they are in a ball game and how many yards they've accumulated because you know they're always working towards 100.
He's been working well towards 100 here. A very good move, but for a short gain out near the 32. Here comes third down and 7.
That's a gain of 3. It's 3rd and 7.
He'll drop to throw. He'll try and do this himself. A good decision in the end to pull it and run. Gets him 9 yards in the first.
The Seahawks, first down. 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line.
They're going to look to throw. Sideline throw, it's complete. And a nice job there of keeping the toes inbounds.
Out of bounds at the 46-yard line. It's a gain of 5.
2nd and 5.
2nd and 5.
Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete.
The 2nd down pass.
The Seahawks on 3rd down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. Here it's 3rd and 3. Back to throw. They'll try to pick it up. And he will not make it back to the line of scrimmage as he's going to be taken down. Blake Gillikin on the punt now on 4th down. And he couldn't get it to check out. That kicks all the way into the end zone for a touchback. The Bears offense now getting ready to take over. The crowd may be losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or on the ground. Now it'll be interesting to see where the patience is on both sides. Each head coach, can you hang in there and not try and force something that can put your team in some jeopardy?
Brings up 2nd and 10 at the 20-yard line.
They run a draw here on 2nd down. Absolutely nobody fooled there. He's going nowhere fast as he's stopped behind the line of scrimmage. 3rd down and 13.
17-yard line.
He'll look to throw. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. Dangerous spot for them to cough it up. Lucky to have recovered because the defense got it. They were already within the shadow of the goalpost.
And then you're yelling at your own defense. Sudden change, sudden change. That's not what you want to hear on your sideline. That means you got to run out there and try and stop an offense who has the ball in a very advantageous position.
A good return there, call it 13 yards. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. On 1st down, they'll go to the ground attack. This 2nd and 4.
He's brought down at the 31. It's a pickup of 6.
And they'll keep leaning on the running game. Back to the ground.
The ball carried by number 10.
And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action.
A loss of 2. Brings up 3rd down and 6.
They haven't made much of this great starting field position they had. Here's 3rd and 6. They'll look to throw. Over the middle, it's complete. Now the Bears going to call the first of their timeouts. So as they talk it over, we step aside. And this one is right through. So the big return had them fired up, but in the end, the offense stalls out. They only muster 3.
Yeah, the excitement was there after the return, but they didn't move the ball at all after that. They didn't even get a 1st down.
Oh, able to avoid him. And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return. Here's the Chicago offense coming back out onto the field. See if they can put this drive in the end zone, Charles, because it's been a little bit of a rough go at times. They've had to punt the football a ton in this ball game because of stalled out drives.
So are you saying that you're kind of tired of seeing the punter?
And his guys are going to get the football at the 23-yard line. And it'll be a turnover. This is going the other way.
Brandon, that's the 3rd time he's fumbled so far in this game. And, you know, you can make excuses for each and every one of them. But the bottom line is he's got to take care of it better. And now that he's shown a propensity for fumbling it, just think about what the defenders are trying to do.
Yeah, well, guys hate 1 fumble, 2s. Oh, my goodness, 3 or more.
Wow. Just doesn't make any sense, does it?
A gain of 5 brings up 2nd and 5.
Now a quick throw into the hands of Jefferson. And he'll take it from the 18 to the 15. A gain of 3. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half.
2 yards still to go. Third down now.
Now back to throw. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. Now the Bears going to use the second of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. A chance to really cap off a big first half here as they come up on first and goal. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. Now he'll tuck this and run. Now the Seahawks call the second of their 3 timeouts as the clock will stop with 45 seconds to go in the first half. So the ball position now at the 3. Here's second and goal. They'll set up to throw. And he's got it. Caught in the end zone for the Seahawks touchdown. From 3 yards out. And the Seahawks will extend their lead in the final minute of the half. Well, there was no going through the progressions on that touchdown pass.
Yeah, nor was it necessary. His receiver won that route early, presented himself. No reason to wait. Go ahead and put it on him and score a touchdown.
Extra point splits the uprights. And that pushes the lead up to an even 20.
Bears 7.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And a good effort on the return there. Gets him across the 30, up to the 33. The Chicago offense set to get started.
I don't think they need to be reminded of the situation here. I mean, the clock is dwindling. 3-score deficit waiting for them at halftime unless they can get something on the board here before intermission. A short one there, caught by Likely. Here now, second and 4.
A 6-yard pickup brings up second and 4 at the 39-yard line.
Throw out wide is incomplete. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on third down. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45.
A gain of 9 yards. That's good for a Bears.
Back to throw again. Incomplete, and we're down to 8 seconds now.
Here's second and 10.
They'll look to throw again.
Tries the left side and finds Olave.
And with just 4 seconds left in this first half, a timeout call. They'll throw now on the final play. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And the Seahawks have recovered. So halftime here out west. Let's go east. That's where we find Scott Hansen with our EA Sports Halftime Report.
All right, Brandon, thanks much. Week 15 of the NFL season.
All right, we'll bypass the halftime show in favor of returning to this late season game with the teams coming back from the locker rooms here a bit early.
And we welcome you back now. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gordon, getting set for quarter number 3 here.
And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28.
Here comes the Seahawks offensive unit. They'll have it first to begin the third.
And despite the turnovers, Charles, and they had multiple in that first half, they still have the lead as they begin this third quarter.
And they probably heard some conflicting tones at the half, don't you think? A lot of praise for what they did to get this lead.
And he's going to be intercepted for the 3rd time thus far.
And he'll return this ball across midfield to the 47-yard line. Not the way you envision things to start out the third quarter. One play and already a turnover.
It's interesting. You and I were talking with the coach, and he talked about how at halftime, as a play caller, he wanted to make sure he got a new script going for the second half, not just the one that he operated off of to start the game. Nowhere on that script did it have that result.
play fake here on first down. The result, only 4 yards there on the play. And that'll make it second down.
4 yards on the pickup. Second and 6 at the 42-yard line.
Hands it off out of the gun.
And the lane closes up quickly as he'll get about 3 down to the 38.
At the 38-yard line.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25. 12 yards that time for number 12 as they move the chains.
And the Bears, first down. A gain of 12. First down.
They go play action here on first down.
And that's to the left sideline and incomplete.
First down.
Second and 10.
It leads to second and 10.
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. They get him to the ground right on the cusp of the red zone after a pickup of 5 or 6.
Number 12, Chris Olave.
Again, he'll drop to throw. And this is caught. For the moment, it's a touchdown, but multiple flags down, so let's sort this out.
Pass interference. Defense.
So obviously they will decline the penalty there, and the result is 6 points.
Ryland on for the extra point.
He's got it, and the score's now 27-14. So the drive there took 6 plays.
And it was Chris Olave who finished things off with a touchdown.
Bailey now to kick it away after the touchdown. The lane opens here. He's past the 30.
Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32.
The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field.
Their lead down to 2 scores after the touchdown a moment ago as they start with a 1st and 10.
They'll start this drive out on the ground.
To about the 35, second down. This is 2nd and 8.
35-yard line. A gain of 2 brings up 2nd and 8.
Middle of the field to Jefferson.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. 5th catch of the afternoon, and that gives him a 1st down.
First and 10 at the
And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing, because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the 3rd quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try to put the hammer down and finish this one off.
A gain of 4. It's now 2nd and
2nd and 6.
Throw left side, taken in by Jefferson.
And he's going to have another 1st down as the tackle's made here at the Bears' 32-yard line. Got a man, and he hits him in stride. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
It's a gain of 8. Brings up 2nd and 2.
On play action, no throw. He's going to get this one out to his fullback.
A gain of 3 yards. That's another Seahawks 1st down. 1st and 10 at the 21-yard line.
On 1st down, they'll go to the ground attack. And he gets it down close to the 10-yard line. Still a few inches short of a 1st down as they come up now on 2nd down.
10 yards on the pickup. It's 2nd and
And they'll give him another shot here on the ground. And this time the yards won't come so easy as they'll in fact tackle him behind the line. The tally there, -2 yards, brings up 3rd down.
They'll come to the line needing only 2 yards to gain the 1st here.
They'll go to the air here on 3rd and 2. And he is in for the Seattle touchdown. A 13-yard touchdown run. As these guys have opened up a very comfortable lead. And no, it was incomplete. So the two-point conversion, no good. Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete. Gets around him. And he'll be stopped up at the 25. Chris Olave heads back to the field as his guys get set for another possession. Pretty good game for him so far. I guess he's still got time here to make this a great game, but so far, he's been solid.
I like where you're going with that because it has been pretty good, but there's always that hint that things can really escalate for him. And right now, they feel like they're somewhat keeping him in check, but he has found the end zone once. But boy, he can explode at any moment.
And when you hit that end zone once, you want to find it again, don't you?
Yes, you do.
You get hungrier.
You get greedy in a good way.
They'll look to throw now on first down. Now he's going to step up and run. And he'll protect himself at the end here as he winds up getting pretty decent yardage.
10 yards on the pickup.
They still need about the length of the football here, maybe a little less as they come up on 2nd and inches. Now a handoff to Miller. And this time he's able to take it down to the 42. 4 yards the pickup, first down.
4 yards.
2nd and inches is oftentimes an invitation for an offense coordinator to take a big shot downfield because he feels like he can come back on 3rd down and pick up the first down. But sometimes you just don't want
nowhere to go. Here he lost the football.
Much like a running back going through the line, quarterbacks have to be aware of protecting the football as well. He left it exposed that time, wound up having it knocked free, but fortunately had an alert teammate who was able to get it.
The fumble on first down. Now here's 2nd down.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down.
Sets up a 3rd down and 18.
Looking to throw. And this pass broken up. Well, the contact well-timed there, and now 4th down. Here comes the Bears punter now. They'll boot it away from about his 35. And that'll hit at the 5 and go into the end zone for a touchback. The Seahawks offense and their running back getting set to go once more. And you have to imagine this defense saying, how do we stop this guy? He has run roughshod through him to this point in the 3rd quarter. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway.
This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown. Their last time out, looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated, they both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
The Seahawks send out their punter as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. Fair catch called for and taken right near the 30-yard line. A 41-yard punt there with no return. And the Bears take over. Looking to put a drive together. They'll try and get the run game going. This is Miller. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
Here's a 2nd and 7. And that falls to the ground, incomplete. A nice job of bottling him up defensively, and now it brings up 3rd down. He'll drop to throw. He's going to float this one deep right side. And he backs it away, and it falls down incomplete. Here comes the Bears punter now, as they're forced to kick for the 6th time today. This is fielded at the 27. 7 yards on the return after a punt of 39.
And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over.
Good starting field position here for the Seahawks as they come up 1st and 10 at their 35-yard line.
Hold on here, because on that last run, it looks like we have a player who was shaken up.
Now a timeout called for by the offense. And as the two teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. They'll keep it on the ground. This time it's Gordon. And they see right through that defensively as he'll be hit and taken down to the backfield.
Brought down back at the 38-yard line.
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. He's got his target. That's complete. And he's going to have a Seahawks 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
That's good for a Seahawks 1st down. 1st and 10 at the 49.
And as they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has run out on this 3rd quarter. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Now on 1st down, he'll drop to throw. It'll be a gain of 5. And that's going to bring up 2nd down.
It's a gain of 5. Brings up 2nd and 5 at the Bears' 44-yard line.
They'll run it up the middle now. Gordon. And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3. The Seahawks on 3rd down. 5 out of 9 thus far. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation. And that one going nowhere from the start as he's met in the backfield and goes backwards. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
I get the thought process. 3rd and short, give it to the fullback, let him bulldoze his way. But that means you're counting on your offensive line to win the line of scrimmage, aren't you?
Yeah, there was just a mass of bodies there at the line. Looked like more defenders than offensive guys. Ends up losing yardage. And now the Bears coming out as they get ready.
Well, we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD. But unfortunately, the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Yeah, that early lead was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. They do have some good news, though. This one is getting close to being over, and they can try and hit the reset button starting tomorrow.
At the 20-yard line.
And 2nd and 10, he'll look to throw again. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he stops right at the 25 after a gain of 5. He'll look to throw. He's going to float this one deep right side. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
And they're at the point of the ball game now where they've got to take some chances. They've got to put the ball in the air and just see what happens. But this defense knows that all too well.
Got to try him here. He's back to throw. And got his man complete. And no reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th.
That's good for a Bears 1st down. A gain of 36 yards. 1st down, Bears.
Well, give them credit. They're going to stay and fight this out to the end. 4th down, you've got to go for it. And they not only convert, but pick up some good yardage as well.
Here's a give to Miller.
On a nice burst there as he'll take this inside the 30 to the 28-yard line.
4 yards. That's another Bears 1st down. 1st and 10 at the 28-yard line.
Back to throw now on 1st down. Under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 38.
Loss of 10 as multiple defenders get to it.
But one thing I do know, these guys on defense, they don't want this game to end. They're winning by multiple touchdowns. They've shut down the opposing quarterback in a big way, and they're still picking up sacks as we approach the end of this one.
So now 20 yards to go on 2nd down after the sack. Work to be done. Now back to throw. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down.
Brings up 3rd down and 20.
A long way to go here on 3rd down for the 8th play of the drive. They'll drop the throw. Now they set up the screen. That's complete.
And he's able to break out of one tackle, but then quickly brought down.
He did his best to just get 4 out of that, but not enough. And now 4th down. As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. And it's knocked away and incomplete. The Bears tried it on 4th down, unable to convert. And that will force a turnover on downs. Well, their first 4th down attempt earlier was successful. This one backfires for a turnover on downs.
I like their aggressiveness. I like what they're doing. They got it the first time they went for it. Why not a second time? I don't think they'll be daunted from attempting it again. If you're on the defensive side of the ball, though, any 4th down stop is a big momentum play.
And this is going to fall to the ground, incomplete. That very nearly their 4th pick of the game. Instead, 2nd down.
Oh, he's got man wide open, complete. And he's taken down right at the 45-yard line.
1st and 10 at the 45-yard line.
Now Gordon, 1st down. He pushes through a would-be tackler to get about 3 yards, 2nd down.
Now a 2nd and 6.
2nd and 6.
They keep it on the ground. Again, Gordon. And this winds up a pickup of 2, maybe 2.5 to about the 39.
At the 39-yard line. A gain of 2 on the play. Brings up 3rd.
Now they'll throw here. Out of the gun.
To the right side, complete to Jefferson.
And he is going to have a Seahawks 1st down by about 3 yards or so as they wind up getting 7 there on 3rd and 4.
For a Seahawks 1st down.
Here's a give up the middle. It's Gordon.
And a good-looking run there as he'll take this inside the 20 and down to the 18-yard line.
And now before this 1st down play, we're going to get a timeout here. And as the two teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. They go back to Gordon here on 1st down. No dice this go-around. He's hit behind the line and taken down. A rare misstep on that last play because the drive has been strong, but now it's 2nd and 12. Now a handoff. This is Gordon. And he'll get this one down to about the 17.
He's taken down at the 17-yard line. It's a gain of 4. Brings up 3rd and 9.
On the delayed handoff, this is Gordon. And he'll only get this to the 14 as he'll come up well short of the 1st down. Call it a gain of 3, and it'll bring up 4th down. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. And his kick here is good. And that will extend their lead even further.
Well, ultimately not really sure that they're going to need those 3 points, but they'll take the 3 and they pad that lead.
Yeah, this one's already wrapped up, but you and I both know if you're an offensive coordinator, you never let up on the gas unless the head coach tells you to do so. And maybe you've actually clicked him off in your headset so you can keep calling plays and trying to add to this lead.
Onto the field now come the Bears.
Well, probably not much that they can do at this point, CD. Down 3 scores late in the 4th quarter. This is going to be a little too much to overcome, you would think.
Yeah, they'll go down swinging, but in the end, I think we saw the writing on the wall a while back because one team was clearly better.
All right, rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked up by Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10.
Intercepted. The Seahawks take over 1st and 10 at the 31-yard line.
Now the handoff comes to Gordon. And so close, he gets it to the one. Out of bounds right there.
It's a gain of 31 yards. And the Seahawks 1st down.
Gordon is is in. Touchdown, Seattle. And we remember, of course, all scoring plays need to be verified upstairs. And I think they're going to at least take a look at this. So take away the touchdown. The officials rule he did not get the football to break the play. Gordon will score. Touchdown, Seattle. Play after here coming up. And that'll push the lead up to 29 now. So they only needed 3 plays on that drive. And it all culminates with a Seattle score. And just shoving him off there. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. They'll start on the ground here on first down. And give him 6 yards here as he stopped near the 35 at the 34. Here's 2nd and 3. And here's a handoff out of the gun. 7 yards there at a first down.
And the Bears first down.
They're going to look to throw. They go with the shuffle pass, and it's complete. And he'll be taken down here, and that is how this one is going to come to an end.
Well, the lopsided affair finally coming to an end, and really no shortage of big plays for us to examine, partner, on offense or on defense for this team. They were so well-rounded in this one.
They certainly were, and how about the day those defenders had, though? How many takeaways did they have? I quit counting after a while. They were clearly the better team, and their defensive effort, it led the way.
So for the Seahawks, it's a 4th win of the campaign as they get to 4-10 on the year.